1, 2, 3. Miners!
Everyday sacrifice, got off down and got right. Underdog in this fight, you won't recover, I bite. See, I was built for these lights, I had to earn all my...
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Dan Brosnan, and welcome to the Dubuque Miners Football Schedule Reveal Show. We have a bunch of very special guests, and we're just going to get right into it. Tell me who you are. We'll start with you, bud.
Sure, my name is Ken Johnson, and I'm the Vice President of the Dubuque Miners organization.
And I'm Tony Hammel. I am the president of the Dubuque Miners organization.
I'm James Mensen. I am the announcer and the voice of the Dubuque Miners.
Jarvis Thomas, I'm the head coach of the Dubuque Miners.
Nick Kelly, I'm captain and player on the team of the Miners.
Awesome. We are so excited for year 2, and we want to talk about the theme of the season. Coach Jarvis, why don't you talk about that, my friend?
So as you all know, last year was year 1. We didn't do too well, but past is in the past. So now we're moving forward, year 2. Got a lot of exciting things going. I'm excited. We got tryouts tomorrow. We've been doing a lot of things out in the community, and this team is going to be something to reckon with. We're going to do something very special this year.
You guys want to add anything?
I can touch a little bit on where we were year 1 to now with the growth of the organization as a whole. Like he just said, last year was our first year. We started out real small, both in operations and overall size of our organization, and now, we have a full-size board. We have a big roster. Last year, that was an issue with us, undersized roster. Already, after 1 tryout, we've already surpassed our size of our roster that we had last year. So we're doing real good on where we're sitting right now, and there's a lot of good things to come from us.
And as far as year 1 goes, the community involvement and the amount of fans that were showing up to year 1, Dubuque has always been a very fiercely loyal community for their sports teams. You look at the Dubuque Fighting Saints, and they've got a very rich history of winning and a lot of good culture. So seeing that type of start for where our fans are at now in year 1 and where we can go and where we will be in year 2 is a very exciting thing to have.
Yeah.
Excellent. Super exciting. Year 2, we are coming for you, baby. So how exactly did the schedule come together, my friends?
Tony, want to take the lead on that?
Well, last year, all the teams, there's representatives from each team that's basically how this is built. 5 players, 4 players through the league. So this year, it's changed a little bit. It's gone to a North Division, a Central, and a South Division. So we recently added 3 teams to give us 13 teams for the league this year. And they're also implemented the strength of schedule philosophy that the NCAA does and the NFL does. So the way that it's been restructured, it's based off of vicinity to where the teams are according to the division. So the North teams, like the guys in St. Paul up there in Minnesota, we're not going to see them right away this year. If we do, it's going to be late, postseason stuff. And then there's the South Division. There's a lot of teams focused around that Chicago area. There's 3 there, and then there's 1 in Bloomington, so that kind of compiles the south end of things. So we can touch on a little bit more of what we have for our division when we get a little bit later into that. But overall, the structure of the league is phenomenal, and touch on that. Kenny, our vice president, was actually voted in as the vice president of the league this year in the off season. So
yeah,
that kind of took us both by surprise. That was kind of a neat little ride there.
Very much so. We had a league meeting, about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And it was just for the board restructure of the league, and they voted me in as vice president. It was either going to be between myself or Tony. It was kind of a nice, pleasant surprise. So that just makes you feel like we as an organization here in Dubuque are doing things in the right direction to be able to get that kind of traction within the league itself. So that was kind of a nice pat on the back for not just myself or Tony, but everybody that's involved with this organization. To kind of touch on, like you were mentioning, the balance of the whole league.
Yeah.
Looking back at last year's road schedules, they were pretty tough. we're going about 4.5 hours away for some of those away games. Now this year, I think our longest away game is like 3.5 hours. So
Yeah.
that makes a tremendous difference for, not just on the business side of things, but for the players too. You do those 4.5 hour travel games, and they're always afternoon or evening kickoffs. You're not getting back till 1, 2 in the morning.
Yep.
And then you still got to get in your car, get home, shower up, or maybe you shower at the stadium. Who knows? But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to this year and the brand new structure that the league brought as a whole.
Awesome, awesome. Now, we're about to get into the schedule, but before we get into the home teams, let's show you guys at home all of the games. Alright guys, welcome back. We are about to get into the home schedule. Now, game one, Kenny, tell me who we are playing.
So we had a few options this year. We weren't sure last year if we wanted to do any preseason games before the league schedule kicked off. And as a year one team, we just really wanted to focus on what was ahead of us that the league was giving us. So this year we kind of took a turn and said, you know what, it would be kind of nice to get something scheduled, something on the board for, you know, a game before we hit the actual league schedule. So I kind of did a little research, looked around, found some teams kind of within a decent distance of us. Got a hold of, his name's Milton. He owns the Midwest Typhoons. They're out of Davenport, Iowa. They came into existence in about 2022. They actually play in two different leagues. They play in the National Football Association and the Midwest Developmental Football League. And they're kind of more towards like a fall league, so we're sort of playing them outside of their own schedule. But Milton was really cool to work with. You know, I told him that we want to pack the stands, make this a benefit game, and after kind of bumping heads with everybody on the board for, I don't know, the last 1 or 2 months about who do we want to bring in for, you know, a benefit game to really kick off this season, and it came down between a couple of them, but then we really nailed down. And we talked to, and they're really excited about it, and it's Research for the Kids. If you don't know about Research for the Kids, they are a local nonprofit. They started up a little bit over a decade ago. Every September they do a gigantic poker run. I mean, there's hundreds of people, if not, I don't know, borderline 1,000 or so. It's nuts.
It's one of the bigger rides in the tri-state area by a lot.
And all the proceeds of that go towards the University of Iowa Children's Hospital. Kind of close home to me is it's my wife's uncle that started that about a little over 10 years ago. So having that be our first benefit game to me is pretty awesome, pretty special. The date for that game is tentative right now. We're waiting on the actual date from our venue, but right now we're looking at April 25th. There will be an online fundraiser to kick it off, you know, for the weeks leading up to the game. At the game, there will be a 50-50 raffle. I did start talking with them a little bit about possibly doing a silent auction, maybe starting when the gates open, just have some things up by our merch table and maybe have it shut down by, I don't know, end of third quarter, and then announce the winners during the fourth quarter. There will also be all kinds of different in-stadium donation activations, like donation buckets and other things of that nature. They'll have an information table there as well. And then we'll have Mark and Julie, and then some other representatives down on the field for the ceremonial coin toss. And that game is actually scheduled to kick off at 7 p.m. and gates for that will open at 6.
Wow, exciting. So that is the first home game. Let's talk about the second home game, my friend.
Yeah, let's get into it, buddy. Second home game is a new team to the Midwest United Football League. They are, I think, going into their 12th season from what I could find. They just got done with a stint with the Northern Lights Football League. It's the Midwest Wildcats, and we'll be playing them on May 16th at home. Last season, going off the Northern Lights website, the Wildcats finished with a record of 0-6 and looking to improve on that this season. So we welcome them to the MWUF League. Looking forward to meeting those guys at Chalmers Field, you know, putting on a good show for our fans in the crowd. That game kicks off our actual league schedule, which is the entire thing's full of brand new teams this year that we didn't face any of them last year. So it's going to be all new faces, all new teams, and I'm really looking forward to that. For this game, just like we're going to get into with the rest of them, there's also a benefit game. We've actually reached out to and partnered with NAMI of Dubuque, and we're going to make this a mental health awareness game. Similar to the Research for the Kids game, we'll have all kinds of different activations, donation activations going on throughout the game, things of that nature. So we'll also have the members of NAMI also down the field for the honorary coin toss. Kickoff for that currently is scheduled for 6. Gates will open at 5. Things like that.
So the first two teams that we play, we have never played before, correct? These are new opponents.
I mean, fun fact, none of the teams we play all season did we play last year.
That's a fun fact for you, and that's why we ask questions. So you guys have anything to add about the first two games that you want to get into?
No, those are our first two home games. We have the Burlington Blue Devils as our first season game on the road there. But talking on our home game stretch there and how we're going to start there. Those are our first two home opponents. Like Kenny said, every team here that we're playing this year is a new team to us. But by the end of this season, we will have played every team, I believe, minus one out of our league at the end of the season.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so home game number 3.
Yep. Home game number 3, this will be a team that's the closest to us proximity-wise. They're a team that, from what I can find, is going into about their 15th season. They're out of Verona, Wisconsin, and on May 30th, we'll be facing off against the Midwest Warriors. This is another team that's new to the Midwest United Football League this season. Last season they were accepted into the league, but they had to kind of take a step back and rebuild. They have new leadership going into this year. Things are looking on the up and up, and now they're in the league, and can't wait to host them. You know, they play at Verona High School, which is a super awesome facility. We'll kind of get into that a little bit when we talk about the road game, because this is one of two teams that we do play twice this season. We're currently working with a partner for this game as well. I don't know if this will be a benefit game like the first two, but we'll have something definitely going on for this one. Right now, this game is also slotted for a 6 p.m. kickoff with a 5 p.m. gates open.
Nice, awesome, exciting. So game number 4 at home. Who is it? Tell me about it, Kenny.
You kind of touched on a little bit. That'll be our first road game, but they'll be coming to us on July 11th, and that is the Burlington Blue Devils. That'll be our first game back at Chalmers after a 3-week road campaign, which that 3-week road campaign also has a bye week before it and a bye week after it. So it's kind of like we're away from home for 5 straight weeks, and it makes a really long mid-season, you know, kind of feel distant from home. So it'll be really nice getting back in action and getting in front of our home crowd. Now the Blue Devils, they finished the 2025 season with the NWUF with a record of 5-3. Something exciting we're doing for this game, it will be a military appreciation game. So we've partnered up with the Tri-State Women's Warriors for this, for a benefit game. Looking forward to that. They were really fun to work with when we went and helped out for one of their events. And they were super receptive to wanting to return the favor. And I said, you know what if one of our home games we have you guys be a part of it and we give back to you a little bit more that way. So they were super receptive of that, and I can't wait to have them and get them out on the field and have them flip the coin. Another little fun thing we're doing for this game is military appreciation jerseys. Now with these jerseys, it's kind of a little fun surprise since we have our captain, number 69, Nick Kelly over here. This jersey will be a little bit of a nod to our local Alpha Company 133rd Infantry, Iowa National Guard, which Nick did serve in.
I was in Delta Company.
Sorry.
Thank you for the service.
So more information will come out about those jerseys. We're kind of keeping a close guard on them right now as they're still somewhat in the editing process. Some more details are also getting worked out with all the things that are going to happen at the game. But this game is also slotted for a 6 p.m. kickoff as of now. It might change, but you know, we'll give plenty of notice before that happens.
Wow, I can't wait. All these games sound fun. We've got one more, correct?
Yeah, one more. We
home
got 5
game number
games.
5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Home game number 5. This team does not need a lot of introduction if you've been around, you know, local football at least for a long time, or even got a touch of what semi-pro football is. But July 18th, we are hosting the Racing Raiders. Like I said, not much of an introduction needed for them. They're a team that have been around for 70 plus years. They were founded in 1953 and somewhat we could call like a staple in the semi-pro football community.
Absolutely.
I could be wrong, but I believe they're the only, if not one of the only teams in the country at this level of football that even have their own stadium, which is
Football
historic
they don't have a
Portland
track or
Field.
nothing.
What's that?
They don't have a track or anything, it's just football one.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
just
Yeah.
theirs.
So because we were there last season, so the 2025 NWUF Championship game was played there last year, which we're trying to bring to Chalmers this year. We won't get there yet. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, we're hosting 11-time national champion Racing Raiders on July 11th. this is both kind of very familiar for Tony and myself, as we both played for the previous semi-pro team that existed in Dubuque from 2009 to 2013. Tony can touch more on that. He played the entire time they're here, but we have a lot of on-field experience with this team. They're always a classy team, so I'm just super excited to be able to host a team of that nature coming into Dubuque. Something fun we're going to do for this game, since we're doing something for every game, will be the Miners Nation Appreciation Game. I don't have too many details on that yet since we're still quite a bit out, but it will be extremely family friendly. We're going to have all kinds of stuff for the kids also to be involved with. We're going to set kickoff time for that one for 7 p.m.
Awesome. Now, before I move on from the home games, Tony, you want to tell me a little bit about the fan experience vision? Like, what should fans expect coming to a game in 2026?
Well, honestly, the fan experience, it starts with, the venue itself. And the venue that we have is, bar none, one of the best that there is right now. Chalmers Field, it's a great facility. It's got a huge capacity. It's overall for the fans, they're right there. I mean, it's a little awkward because we have one section of the stadium to work with for home and away fans, but it does work pretty well. I mean, that's where all our concessions and everything are, and it makes it convenient for them. The game experience also blends in with the community experience, which Kenny kind of touched on this year. We're focusing on making every game an event when it comes to our home games. It's not just a football game in June or July or whatever it is. It's an experience from the minute that our gates open until everybody goes home. And last year, I mean, we realized it real quick, and James touched on it earlier. Our fans they're there for us. I mean, last year when we had our game against the Lions and we won that game, we didn't have a massive capacity crowd, but there was twice last year that we touched over 300 people at our games.
Yep.
And that game alone, we had about 125 to 150 there, but it was 110 plus heat index.
Wow.
So our fans, they're there for us. I mean, the gates open, they're there. When our players and everybody's leaving the facility, they're leaving with us at the end of the night. And it starts with the community roots. Last year we did some small things. This year we're doing a lot more. We're really getting out there as not a football team, as an organization. Everything that we do, we have players there, we have coaching staff there, Kenny's there, I'm there. So everywhere across the board, anybody with the Miners, we're out there and we're really building with the community, and it's starting to show because we're seeing a lot of people really just kind of poking the bear about what we're doing here tonight with the schedule and stuff and what kind of events we have coming. So I'm excited on where we are with that, and we can only build on that. We're going to get better and better as the season goes on, and next year we're going to look to do more than what we did this year, make it better next year and the following year.
Awesome. James, is there anything that you want to add about the game day environment or the energy?
So with the game day environment that we have, the first thing that hits you when you get out of your vehicle in the parking lot is we're on the University of Dubuque campus, which is gorgeous. Chalmers Field is set up in such a way that you see from the open end both sides of the stadium. You see the fields, you see the press boxes, and it's an immaculate field. University of Dubuque has been a fantastic sponsored host for us. We're very grateful to have them, and I know the podcast with Racine had spoke about our facilities, that a lot of these teams are not playing anywhere near in a facility like we have, so we are very blessed and very thankful to have that. And the other part of that experience is, and nobody's touched on this yet, me being the fat guy, I'm going to, it's our concessions. We have smokers that have showed up, and we have Gator comes out, and Gator puts his food down. He really does. If you want to come out and have the best $4 sandwich you'll ever have, that's the place to do it. So having concessions and a fantastic field and just a beautiful area to play football for the love of the game is a fantastic thing. Now you add the fans who are absolutely ferocious and making all the, we have 200 fans in the stands, they sound like 500. It's a great thing to have, a very positive experience. So for us to have the opportunity to play in a field like that, in that area with fans who are so dedicated, just before the whistle blows to start, we're in a very good space. We've got a lot of good things going for us. On top of that, the community outreach, getting our name out where people are recognizing it, has been like wildfire this past year of all the events that have been happening. So just walking in the gate is an experience in itself, and all these extra things that we're going to do are just going to add to it.
Awesome. Incredible. I loved it. So we just ended the home games. So now it is time that we talk about the away games. Those tough stretches where you get into the van, bus, whatever we're riding in, and we take a trip to go play some football.
Yep.
So do you want to tell us about those games?
Sure, yeah, we can touch on them a little bit here. Don't got to go too far in depth with the first one, May 9th. As Tony, you mentioned a little bit ago, we'll be on the road against the Burlington Blue Devils. They play at Tony Romo Field in Burlington, Wisconsin. Yes, that Tony Romo. So that'll be another tough matchup for us, but it'll be good. They host us May 9th. We host them July 11th.
Wow. Okay, so then game 2, or I guess road game 2, I should say.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll have a bye week, and then we'll go face the Chicago Falcons. I think Tony, you might have some information about the Falcons for us.
Yeah, the Falcons are kind of one of the well-established teams, and like Kenny kind of touched with racing. And the Falcons have been around a long time. It's another team that I played when I played semi-pro years past. So I've been down to their facilities down there. They've been around, I believe, since 2010, 2009 timeframe. So they've got a pretty good run going. And last year, they, much like we did, they had an uphill battle. They were 1-7, same as we were last season. I'm looking forward to getting back down that way and playing at that facility again. It's a really nice facility. It's in Columbus. I think it's called Columbus Field.
Tony Romo Field. For Burlington.
No, Falcons.
Oh, I'm on the wrong
Yeah,
one.
we're on the Falcons.
I went backwards. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Just Tony Romo.
I was reading something over here. I'm so sorry.
And then after that, that's where we have that kind of funky bye stretch there. And then the follow-up with that, we played the Sheboygan SaberCats. And they were one of the founding teams, as well as the Falcons, since this league started in 2021. So the SaberCats last year, they were 9-0, and they went on to play in the championship game against the Illinois Cowboys, which the Cowboys won the title on that last year. I believe we have consecutive years in the league's existence for the SaberCats to make it to the championship game. So from 21 until last year, hopefully we can slow them down a little bit.
A little bump in the road.
They are the team that actually represented our league in the bowl game that was played in January down in Miami. They also played in the I-75 Bowl, which is kind of a regional thing for this Midwestern area of semi-pro football. So SaberCats themselves, doing a great thing. They have a really solid program there, and they play great football. So I'm looking forward to getting on the field with them guys this year because, as we stated, every team we got is a new team. It's a whole new experience, whether it's on the road or it's at home.
Exciting. So then the last road game looks like is the Midwest Warriors. You want to go into a little bit about them again, or
We touched on them a little bit, yeah. So June 27th, we'll be going up to Verona, playing on Verona High School. And that will end the whole nice road stint that we have there, the 3-week road challenge there for us.
Well, speaking of that, Nick, tell me about the road warrior mindset. Like, what are you going to have to bring to the table physically and mentally when you're on the road for 3 weeks like that?
A lot of times is everybody likes to play at home, but we went to a lot of games last year where our fans traveled with us. We had a bigger crowd than the home team. So, this year I plan on making every home ours. It might sound arrogant, but we're here to make a statement this year. We're here to play with the best. We're here to show them that we're the best too. We're here to compete this year. Whether it's at home or it's away, as soon as we hit that bus, we're going over what we're doing today. And it's football from when we wake up until that final whistle blows at the game. It's just what we do. We're a team. We're focused this year. We're starting up. We're getting our things going, and we're here to make a statement.
Coach, are there any matchups on the calendar that you're circling that you're looking forward to?
So we look forward to every game. We're going to treat every game like it's our last, so we give our best effort. But in saying that, looking to play racing, they've been around for 70 years, so we want to see what we can match up and how we can compete with them.
Awesome. Is there anything else anyone wants to chime in until we get into the next segment?
I mean, I definitely agree with Coach over here. Racine, being around 70+ years, and just with our personal connection of playing against them, how many years ago now? I don't want to admit how many years it's been, but being able to see them across the field again will be pretty cool. But another one for me would be the SaberCats, just because, with our relationship with TJ throughout the league, got to hang out with him just a little bit during the championship game last year. Awesome guy. Can't wait to see him across the sidelines and hopefully catch up afterwards. Maybe invite the guys up to the doghouse after for a cold one and a bite to eat and hang out if they decide to stick around. But those are my two that I'm really looking forward to.
Awesome. That's amazing. And I just want to add that my wife is from Racine, Wisconsin. So we got to win this one for me, guys. All right. Now this is bragging rights, dog. No, but for real.
House divided, huh?
Yeah, house divided. Yeah. Separated, bro. If she comes with Raiders stuff on, it's over. My God. No, 15 years on the drain, damn it. No, but for real, we're really excited about the schedule. Now we're getting to that part where we're about to end the video, but before we do want to get some final messages from you guys. So Tony, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, for me, it's like Kenny said. This sport for me has got a soft spot in my heart. Growing up, everybody wanted to be that professional athlete somewhere along the line, And I've always said, when you play a sport long enough, eventually, some people have that mindset that sport owes you something back in return. But on the other side of that, I feel like I owe football something for what it gave me, and I'm getting another opportunity to do that now. I'm not getting any younger. I'm going to be 38 when we start our regular season. Our second home game is 2 days after my birthday. We're going off. I'm excited. I'm thrilled with what we're doing. We're not just establishing a program and a name. We're establishing a legacy. And I have two boys of my own. One of them plays football, and he lives, eats, and breathes what we're doing right now. He loves this. He's looking forward to the games. He's trying to talk his mom into letting us take him when we go play Midwest Warriors up there. I mean, that's a short road game, Mom. He's ready to go. He wants to go. And the connections that we're making, with everybody in the community, that's what's going to establish this legacy for us. And one more quick thing, James kind of touched on our concessions things before. So going back to that, making every game an experience and an event. Every week, once we get closer to the season date here, every home game we're going to have a featured item. And that's what we're going to talk about, when it gets closer. That's where the smokers are going to come into play. Pulled pork, the pork tea sandwiches we did last year. I kind of want to do like a loaded smokehouse nacho thing sometime this year. So every game there's going to be some sort of specialty item there that's coming off of our smokers. That's made that day. That's not made a day ahead of time. When everybody shows up, they're going to smell the smoke before they hit the stadium. So,
wow.
Gator's going to have to wheel me in and out of the announcing the way he throws that food down.
Yeah.
Insane. Awesome. I am so excited. Ken, do you have anything you want to add, my friend?
Tony's holding back a little bit. There's some other fun stuff for concessions that are coming this year. I won't
Well,
give
there's
it
gotta be
away.
a few
I won't
surprises
give it
left
away.
out there,
But there's some really cool things that him and his dad are working on to really make our concessions pop this year. And I'm looking forward to it too, because some of those items I really like. For me, everything he just said, I'd just like to copy and paste it, because football's always been there for me. Growing up, I used to watch film of my dad play football. He played football for the Panthers at UNI, and getting to hear all of his stories, look through all his old cool stuff, looking through all of his letters that he got throughout high school for all the colleges. There's just always something cool that's been around since I was super young. It was either that or wrestling, and I don't know. Football's just always been very special to me. So being able to play football after high school with Tony, and then now 10 years later firing this baby up, it just feels good. Like he said, give something back to the sport and to the community. So you touched on concessions a little bit. I'll touch on tickets. So we got a couple new things this year for ticketing for our games. General admission is the same thing as last year. It's going to be $10 a ticket. Children 12 and under are free. And with your general admission ticket, you get in an hour before the game. So like we were saying, some games are 7, some games are 6. You get in at 6 or 5 for those games. I'm going to grab my notes here just because I don't have everything memorized. But 2 things that are new this year. The very first one, season tickets. Now I got a lot of bullet points, but I'm going to draw back a little bit because I think we need to nail down some details still. However, what those are going to do is getting you in the gate 90 minutes before kickoff. There's a couple other fun things that are going to happen with those season tickets that I don't quite want to give away quite yet because we just need to nail a couple things down. But really looking forward to the season tickets this year. I think we're going to be able to sell quite a bit of those, just judging off of last year's showing.
Yeah.
Like you had mentioned, we had a couple games over 300 people in the crowd, and that was amazing. I mean, the crowd was loud from kickoff to end, so it'll be really cool to see what we can do this year with that. And then the last thing that's still in development right now is this year we'll have a party zone VIP area, which now this is pretty cool. If you've ever been to a Fighting Saints game, they have the party barn where organizations or partners or groups can kind of rent out this entire section. We're somewhat doing that idea at Chalmers Field too. So we're going to have, I'll just kind of list it off right here. What I will tell you right now is the section is going to be listed at about $500. That's going to come with 30 party zone tickets, and you can purchase more on top of that too. Packages are going to expand from there. You'll have food packages, exclusive game day perks like field level viewing. You're going to be stationed right next to where our team comes out, so you'll see them come up the stairs. You're going to be right there in the action. Watch them hit the tunnel. I mean, it's going to be a whole different thing for a viewing standpoint, and I can't wait to see that get put together here. But those two are brand new things for us this year, and I'm really excited to get the ball rolling on.
Awesome. All right, Nick, you're up. Do you have a locker room message for the season? Anything you want to get off your chest, my friend?
We're coming to let you know who we are this year. It's as simple as that. Well, we're putting in the work. This isn't a team that just got thrown together and you made the team because you showed up. This is a team where it's earned. It's not given. It's a game of inches, and we're going to play it like that. We're going to focus on the play that's coming up, not the one that just happened and the one that's after that. We're one play at a time. We plan on winning this year.
Wow, I love it. I see why you guys got this guy as a captain, man. I would go to war with you, man. That was awesome. All right, James, do you have anything you want to say?
So, in the current football climate, you have the pros, millionaires protecting their bodies, protecting their careers, and their sponsorships. At college football, I feel like it's at a certain level of mess with NIL. You've got kids that are transferring before they transfer, and you almost need an Excel sheet to keep track.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it has lost the love of the game, the passion, the fierceness, and everybody around this table is passionate about football, for football, not for the dollar bills involved. I mean, of course, on the business side, you want to increase the business and expand the business to increase the product on the field. But your players on the field, they're not out there millionaires. They're not getting sponsorships. They're out there because of the people that are standing to their left and the right, and they're out there competing with the same type of guy across the line of scrimmage. That is the purest form of football. That's the best form of football for people who are going out there to play for the love of the game and not much else. And we see that in the product that we have. Our players are passionate and they're dedicated. Our fans, they're feisty. And that's the nicest way I can put it, but our fans are feisty. They're vocal, they're not afraid to cheer when they need to and as hard as they want. But I feel like the product that we're putting on the field is just going to get better and better for all the right reasons, and that matters. So this second year is super exciting to see what I feel like is the best form of football, love of the game.
Wow. He took the words out of my mouth. That was awesome. And I think that's probably the end of it. I do want to take a second to thank Nick, Jarvis, James, Tony, and Kenny for hanging out with me. This has just been an incredible time. I hope you guys get excited about this and get those season tickets. There will be more details about that soon. But if there's anything else, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching. And remember, this is not a season. This is a movement.
Go Miners.
Get the ring.